Today we have a few more comprehensive details of the Warhammer 40k app, some good, some bad, what you can get for free, and what you can get for the paid subscription. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where we've been covering the 9th edition news and developments as they've been coming out. One of the most interesting changes to my mind about this new edition is that Games Workshop are finally moving to some form of digital app to try and better manage their rules and have a few more features that can help you when playing games. In a Warhammer community article yesterday, they've told us that there will be 2 tiers of this app, both a free version and a paid subscription version. A couple of reasonable perks on both sides of this, but also a couple of disappointments too in my mind. So let's talk about what we get. So it does sound like the app at launch is going to be at least fairly basic, although they have mentioned that other features might be added to it further down the road. The options are either to have the app for free or to pay a monthly subscription rate, which in the UK will be £3.99 per month. Not a huge cost, but not an absolutely small cost as well, particularly on an already expensive hobby. The free side of it is frankly fairly minimal at the moment. There's only 2 features that they highlight. Firstly, access to the core rules, which I do believe would just mean the PDF core rules that they have available for free already on the Warhammer community site, which isn't exactly the biggest advantage ever for an app to have, seeing as we already have those, and you could put them on your phone as a PDF anyway. If you aren't paying for the app though, then they have stated that in 9th edition codexes when they come out, they will each contain a code within the codex, and a code that you can put into the app to be able to access a digital version of it on there. Now this might not sound like much, we did already know that this was coming, but at least compared with their current codexes, this is actually quite a significant upgrade. If you buy a codex in print form at the moment, you don't get to download a copy for free from anywhere right now, so I think that Games Workshop allowing that to happen is now really quite a positive step. It might mean that if you have a book that only has a few rules in it for your particular army, then you won't have to lug that around every single game. It really could cut down on the sheer weight of the books that Games Workshop produces in your bag, and I think that's undeniably going to be a bit of a step forward. They do mention on the article these will have updates and errata available for the books, although it's not 100% clear exactly what form that will take, whether they'll actually go into the publications themselves and update them, swapping out old wording of rules for new wording, or whether they'll keep on going with the current FAQ PDF documents, the ones that are already free, and they'll just make those available alongside them. I would hope that it would be the former, just as then that cuts down the amount of documents and will be one of the main advantages of actually having a digital rule set, but honestly who knows, particularly when this app is in its early stages. So for free, the main advantage that you're getting is a digital copy of any codexes that you buy in print. On the paid side, there are a few more features. As I said, the cost is £3.99 per month. Who knows exactly what that will translate to in terms of dollars or euros at the moment. I'd hope it might be a little bit more comparable compared with Games Workshop's current disparities when they're selling their miniatures within these areas. I think the price is going to turn some people away. Admittedly, a lot of people who do pay 40k have a fair bit of disposable income going around, so an extra £50 a year for maintaining an app really isn't the worst thing in the world. But for people who are trying to look at 40k on a little bit more of a budget, it's just another little thing to stack on to the already fairly big expenses of collecting and playing Warhammer 40k, between miniatures costs, codexes, paints and travel to events and things. In this version it does seem that we'd be getting access to the full core rules book, as in the entire rules section for the one that comes in Indomitus. I believe that's the case, although I'm not 100% certain. It more talks about being able to search the rules in this book very easily. They mention things like stratagem costs and blast weapons. So whether or not it actually has every single mission that's also available in the core rulebook or not is a bit more of a question. In any case, it does sound like the app might be a bit more of a replacement for the actual core rules book compared with the free version, which just gives you the core rules. If they have managed to make the book fairly searchable in a digital version, then that's definitely a positive in my mind. For finding a specific rule or thing, it is generally just going to be quicker than flipping through pages, so if they have managed to implement this well, then I'll be very happy. Really though, at least in the short term, I think the biggest advantage of the paid subscription is that you just get all 8th edition codexes thrown in straight away. This means that at least in the first days of 9th edition, when barely any of the 9th edition codexes will have come out, it means that for £4 a month you can temporarily have access to pretty much most of the rules for the entire game of 40k. It sounds like it will both have all the codexes and all the current imprint supplements, such as Psychic Awakening, and presumably the Vigilus ones as well, which really, while they are all remaining in print and usable, this is really quite a good deal for £4 a month I think, particularly compared with how much each individual codex could cost you. I honestly think that the subscription could be a really good deal if this really does come to pass, at least for the first few months of 9th edition. It could be a very easy way of getting people into the game, and you could just browse all the rules for any given faction that interested you, and you'll have literally all the information that you want for just £3.99. It feels not too dissimilar from the cheap index books that they had going at the start of 8th edition, and it's going to remove a barrier to everyone knowing the rules for any one faction if they want to. It does kind of mean though, if you're willing to wait a few weeks to get your hands on any 8th edition codex, it could well just be best to wait until the app is available on subscription, and then the cost of any one codex could have covered you several months worth of this app, and be able to use those 8th edition rules just the same. The other feature that they had mentioned before for the app was this army list builder, which they've now unveiled the name of as Warhammer Battleforge, which I'm uncertain whether they'll just be doing that for all armies in general, or only for 9th edition codexes as they come out and add them in army by army. They haven't really been too clear on what's happening with this yet, but they have said that it won't be available literally right from when the app first goes online, but it will be coming very shortly after. Bit of a shame it's not available day one. I do wonder if that means that they're waiting for the first codexes to come out, so you could maybe build lists for Necrons and Space Marines, for example. Makes me wonder whether it will actually compete with the already available Battlescribe, or whether they'll be trying to take any sort of moves to try and shut Battlescribe down, as if you did want to build army lists with any points cost in the game at the moment, that app's already available and it's very cheap, a less than £2 purchase one-off rather than £4 a month, and it already has all the points cost for every army in the game built into it. Unless this new Games Workshop app is incredibly easy to use, I imagine a lot of people will just want to stick with Battlescribe and maybe just buy the ebooks from Games Workshop directly if they wanted to have digital copies of the rules available. In any case, hopefully with a decent amount of budget and a lot of intelligent people behind it, they'll be able to make a reasonably functioning army builder. They did say that other updates are planned down the line for the app. One thing that I thought was conspicuously absent from the update was any sort of news of a battle tracker. Say something to record all of these new secondary objectives as you score them through a game, which to be honest is going to be fairly complicated, and unless they do roll out something like this, then you might well need a bit of pen and paper or something. Again, that was something that I was hoping might be available from day one, but hopefully they won't be too far down the line with it. I would be surprised if they add too much to the app for free from now on. I suspect it will be adding value to their subscription service. They haven't given us an exact release date for the app, but they said sometime within the next few weeks, and I suspect it will probably be on the true 9th edition launch day, somewhere around the 25th of July. I suspect I'll get the subscription at least at the start, when we get all of the extra books and supplements included all in one place, as it seems like a pretty good deal. Whether it keeps on being useful enough to be justifying £4 a month after this, who really knows? I guess I'll wait and see. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Do you feel like it might be worth it to subscribe, stick with the free version, or just ignore it altogether and stick with Battlescribe? If you've enjoyed the video, then feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics, where we'll have regular 40k content coming out pretty much every day. And if you have been enjoying my videos, I'd just like to mention that I do have a Patreon page, which is down in the video description below. Channel patrons get to see one video early each week, they get to vote in regular polls to see what sort of things come next on the channel, and I have regular prize draws each month, where we give away some big kits to randomly selected winners between both the Patreon and the Facebook page. All patrons automatically entered into the draw each month. There's 3 sets of the Indomitors box going in early August. If any of that sounds good to you, or you'd just like to help support the channel, the link is down in the video description below, so feel free to check it out if interested. In any case, a massive thank you for listening, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.